de Lima and the reaction po on that?
Well, I wrote a dissenting opinion when the case reached the Supreme Court, when I was still in the Supreme Court. And I said that there was no probable cause to file a case against Senator De Lima because in every drug case, in every prosecution of a drug case, there must be corpus delicti, the body of the crime. In other words, you must show the drugs, the shabu. Wala namang shabu sila pinakita That sinabi lang nila na pinayagan niya to operate in Bilibid prison itong mga drug lords. And lahat ng mga, all their witnesses, principal witnesses, were all convicts. And convicts, they are not reliable witnesses. So, on that score alone, I said, you are saying that there is a conspiracy. She's part of a conspiracy to manufacture and sell drugs, illegal drugs. But where are the illegal drugs? Kasi dapat may corpus delicti in all decisions of the Supreme Court. Saan yung illegal drug? Parang ano yan you are charged with murder. Saan yung body? Saan yung tao na pinatay? Pag wala kang mapakitang body na namatay, na tao, you cannot prove the crime. There must be, the body of the crime must be there. Wala naman silang pinapakitang shabu na nabenta Wala naman silang nahuli. How can you accuse somebody of selling illegal drugs? Wala ka naman makitang illegal drugs. Sabi, conspiracy. Yung mga co-conspirator niya, wala namang napresentang illegal, wala namang nahulihan na illegal drugs. So you are charging somebody with murder, but there is no person that was killed. Paano yan? And you are using all convicts serving sentence. Sabi ko, wala talaga. This is persecution. This is not prosecution. That was my dissent. You can read it. I mean, from the very start, sabi ko, walang kaso ito. Thank you.
Sir, last lang po. Isa sa mga interesting developments na nakita natin sa 6 years and 9 months of persecution of Attorney De Lima is that there are a lot of witnesses who recanted their statements. Actually, there were 5 witnesses who recanted their statements, and some of the witnesses are pointing to former Secretary Aguirre na kino-urge daw sila to do such thing, yung testimonies nila. Do you think, if ever, yung magiging halimbawa po na acquit si Senator De Lima with the last case and the findings of the court, do you think those will be like strong evidence to file a counter complaint against Aguirre and others?
Well, first of all, the case has to be finished first. The case against De Lima must be dismissed first before that issue can arise. So for me, it's premature to discuss that until ma-dismiss nga yung kaso.
Sir, Malacanang is saying that the bail granted to former Justice Secretary De Lima is indicative that justice works in the country. Can you comment on that?
Well, it's good that finally she got bail because, as I was saying, there was no probable cause at all. I mean, how can you accuse somebody of conspiring to sell illegal drugs when you don't even cannot show the drugs? Where are those drugs that were supposed to have been sold? Wala naman Parang you charge somebody with a murder pero wala ka mapakitang tao na namatay Paano yan? Well, it's good that finally bail has been granted because, when under the Constitution, when you are charged with a crime and the evidence of guilt is not strong, you have a right to bail. It's your right to bail. Dapat binigay itong right to bail noon pa. Kasi wala naman talagang, sabi ko, walang base talaga. Thank you.
Okay? Meron pa?
Sir, yung ICC daw, sir.
Nahihiya phone a friend.
Sir, your views daw, sir, on possibility of
Yung pagpasok ng ICC.
ICC
To cooperate.
to resume
Well, let me just point out the decision of the Supreme Court on this. Sabi ng Supreme Court, while the withdrawal of the Philippines from the Rome Statute on the ICC took effect as of a certain date, we have the obligation, the Philippines has the obligation to comply, to cooperate with the ICC for crimes committed before we withdrew. And these are crimes alleged to have been committed before we withdrew. So we have the obligation to cooperate. Sinabi mismo ng Supreme Court yan. So I will just cite the Supreme Court decision. We have the obligation to cooperate because these are crimes committed before, alleged to have been committed before we withdrew. Obligasyon natin eh. I'm just quoting the Supreme Court. It was a unanimous decision.